Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Talk Your Shit Sports Podcast. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We got a good one tonight, man. But before we go ahead and get started, everyone, go follow us on IG, the Talk Your Shit Sports Podcast. Follow us on Facebook at the Talk Your Ish Sports Podcast. Follow us on, subscribe to our YouTube channel, the Talk Your Shit Sports Podcast YouTube channel. We can find all our content. But it's lit, everyone. We got a Boston hoop legend in the building. We're gonna bring him right to you. He's been hooping from all over the world, man, from Russia to Canada, Australia, Indonesia, China, Argentina, you name it, he's been there. I'm saying, if you put him up against your best, I'm pretty sure he's probably going to dominate him. So, I'm saying, we'll welcome my man, Raheem Singleton, to the building.
Man, yeah, I appreciate y'all having me, man. And looking forward to it.
Yeah, man. P, man. We've gotten almost we got 4 Boston hoop legends on our belt, P.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And it's just ill to see the depth, the basketball depth, and the greatness that's coming out of our city, man. So shout out to all the Boston hoopers, all the young hoopers, man. Please tune in and lock in with us because it's real out here, man.
Right. And the funny thing, D, all the hoopers that we had on here, they mentioned Raheem. So, so and these are like legends. So they know about this guy. So Raheem, we just want to jump into your story, man. And I just want to ask you why basketball, and I want you to describe your love for basketball and what basketball has done for you.
Yeah, man, basketball, basketball has been life-changing for me. But, I didn't necessarily, choose basketball. Basketball kind of chose me, just based off of, different course and events. And, I didn't grow up, I wasn't growing up to I'm trying to make it to the NBA. I'm trying to be a pro. Basketball wasn't my favorite sport. I was always an athlete, but I had other interests. I played hockey, I played baseball, then, went into boxing, but I was always an athlete. So I was good at a lot of sports, and growing up in the projects, you don't want to be the last pick. So when you're competitive, you want to be wanted. So, I was always decent at everything. I was not going to be the last one to be picked. So
that's facts. Because Cats is really competitive out there. Ain't nobody trying to be like, we just gonna take him because he's the last one.
Right.
Everyone already got their roles. Now you gonna come. I just gotta play some defense.
You want to be one of the top few selected, right?
Right.
That's what it was, for me. And I use basketball just as much as it used me. A lot of people never took advantage of that. For me, basketball was my way out of Roxbury, my way out of the hood, and be able to do things that I would have never thought of doing. If I didn't play basketball, I don't think I would ever left Boston, to be honest.
Crazy. That's crazy.
So you mentioned coming from the projects, coming from academy, man, and really getting to it, man. Tell the people how much work went into you going, you putting yourself in a position to play on these teams all across the world. Growing up, playing against the best. Hard nosed against, cats from all over the city who can hoop. Cats from Mission, cats from Franklin Field. Just all over Connecticut, Lawrence, Springfield. You played against the best. So tell us how much work went into all that.
Man, it was definitely a grind. The thing was, it was a lot of sacrifice, man. And I think that's the thing that people think lightly. Because even sometimes I'll get around people now, and I'm one of the people that's probably one of the most misunderstood as far as, just as a basketball player, because I don't let a lot of people in. You know what I mean? So I only allow you to see what I allow you to see. So a lot of people, mistake, Radio, the basketball player, for Raheem, the person. You know what I mean? So a lot of people be like, take stuff personal and be like, he don't like me. Nah, listen, you only know me from a competitive standpoint. I don't like nobody.
Right.
I'm trying to knock your head off. We
can't be friends. That just don't help me. But they see my passion on the court and don't understand where it stemmed from. A lot of this stuff's on the court, that's me, because basketball has always been my fight. You know what I mean? My way out. And when I took all my hood energy, when I realized I was giving up on trying to be in the streets and I was putting it in the basketball, that's where all that energy went towards. You know, that all that anger and whatever, that's what drives me. That's what keeps me out there competing and playing. But, you know, people don't understand the level of sacrifice because they think stuff came easy. You know, they don't realize how much of a grind it was for me and how, like, every step of the way, like, I had some crazy, unfortunate turn of events that was kind of like, could have easily pushed me to the left. I'm like, nah, I got to stay because I know what's bigger. But I had a lot of just turbulence, you know, on my road to get into where I am now. And even still now, it's still turbulence. It's never going to be just easy, but I don't think people understand how much of a toll it has on you being a pro athlete.
Right. Talk about that a little bit more. I mean, because that's exactly why we're here. I mean, what is it that is taking your toll on you from just like the politics of basketball? I know you talked about that yesterday. Just like tell us a little more about that.
I mean, people don't realize that there's a whole lot of politics. You see people in the NBA and everybody in the NBA. It's not saying that everybody in the NBA can't play, but it's not saying everybody who not in the NBA that play overseas or play at different pro levels. Not too many guys that are pros that just suck. You know, let's just say that. You know what I mean? But you know, they also don't realize how much of a popularity contest, you know, different pro avenues and things are. You know what I mean? I done lace them up with some of the best, you know what I mean? Some guys in the NBA and that played in the NBA. And, you know, there's nothing but respect and love there. They know that I can go just like they can go.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So with that being said, I think the main thing is a lot of people don't realize that it's not just about if you can hoop or not. It's you got to be the right fit. You got to be, you know, the right type of person. You have to go to the right school. Like, it's a lot different now. And then now it's, you know what I mean? How young are you? Can we develop you into something? Now the league taking question marks now, as opposed to guys who played 4 years and killed.
Right.
You're going to turn down a guy who averaged 20 for 3 years. Right. You're going to take for a guy who averaged 9 and the potential that he might be the next whatever.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's so true, because it's like they look at it at these juniors and seniors as, you know, we can't develop them. You know what I mean? Because their window in their NBA minds, the windows are shorter than versus a top McDonald's All-American that played at a Duke or Kentucky or North Carolina. Or we can work with that guy versus a vet that's been there for, you know, three or 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
But
great. The main thing is, how are you going to develop somebody who only had dreams of being in the NBA? They don't got dreams of being the next LeBron James. So you taking a chance by hoping that this young kid is gonna wanna, after you give him $1 million and he come from nothing, how you expect him to stay in the gym, and who's gonna tell him? A lot of these young guys don't got strong people in their corner to tell them, like, man, you tripping. Because they go from being the lowest on the totem pole to the top of the totem pole.
Right.
So everybody too afraid to get cut off to let them know, like, yo, man, you need to get in the gym and be doing X, Y, and Z. There's not too many people, like your parents don't even, you automatically become the breadwinner. Your parents got to listen to you. They can't make you mad.
Right.
So it just becomes tough because you banking on a young kid to, you know, and I'm not hating on them, but you're just banking on them to do too much, you know, without having who's going to teach them, who's going to show them the way. You got kids teaching kids. They're not even learning from other veterans. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's so crazy because people don't realize how much stuff ties into each other, right? It goes hand in hand just with the streets. Like when I was growing up, you had the OGs that let you know when, like, all right, you're going a little bit too crazy, like you tripping. There's rules. Where now you got kids teaching kids and they ain't stopping you from doing the dumbest stuff. You know what I mean? So it kind of goes hand in hand with everything. Where's the veterans at that's around to be able to let these young guys know what to do, what not to do, you know what I mean? And just how to carry themselves.
Right. What you saying that reminds me of when we sat down with Will and he was talking about how Chauncey was the guy that was kind of teaching him the ropes. And it's crazy that in the NBA, if you look at it now, there's no more Chaunceys in the teams because Yeah, you mean you look around, there's no real vets. Like you said, there's guys that's what 28 that's teaching kids that, 18, 19.
I mean, there's a few cats. There's a few cats, but I mean, I think the leagues have gotten a lot younger. Like the league has
but
purposely
not
got a lot younger. Yep.
all the vets is on the same team now. They want to win. They trying to
They
go
out
play
here
with,
chasing
they don't want
wins.
to go. No vets want to go play with no question marks. Like it's just
True.
different styles of basketball, right? Like
Right.
all these kids are great one-on-one players. Like it's so crazy because we look back and we think about how many times, like, different guys. Like I remember different guys that was like a little bit maybe before my era or a little bit around that if they played today, they would be in the NBA. But when I like around the time I grew up, like you had to be able to know how to execute and run plays. It didn't matter how good of a one-on-one player you was. If you couldn't play with four other people, you wasn't going to be on no good teams.
Right.
That's just the way it was. And now today, if you can play one-on-one, like, you know what I mean, and you got good size on you, you're going to get a sniff.
Right. But I want you to share with us, your adversities and then share to us how you handled, the adversity and how it helped you shape your life.
Man, so, you know what I mean? For me, like, a lot of people don't even know, like, I had a scholarship offer out of Madison. I got it from playing in the Play It Safe tournament. Like, people that don't remember the Play It Safe tournament, you know what I mean? I played in the Play It Safe tournament 19 and under for years, you know what I mean? Some of the best battles in the city. Like, you know what I mean? It was always at the Rec or at the Tobin.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what I mean? Like, I never forget, I played at the Rec. We playing against my man Tommy Hubbard, the Lee School and them. Sleepy, you had Sleepy on here not too long ago. Played against him and his brother and them. And, Tommy went to East Tennessee State. So they coach came to watch him play with Leo and seeing me and was like, yo, who this kid? Like, oh, I like the radio kid. Like, let's get him. Like, got me on a visit and everything. I just ain't take my SATs yet. So, because I was planning on going to prep school because I didn't have a D1 offer yet. So I was just like, all right, now I got to take the SATs, like signed up for it. It was the day after graduation. And I had signed up like in the middle of the school year. So I'm doing SAT prep, but I'm not remembering that like it's right after graduation. With graduation and prom, I was so locked in on that and enjoying my last bit as a high school senior. Day after graduation, my alarm goes off and I'm like, what's the alarm for? Oh, I got the SATs. So I book it. And I lived at Franklin Field at the time. So I booked it from Franklin Field all the way to the King Middle School, which is like Grove Hall area. Because waiting for the 28 or the 22, good luck on a Saturday morning. So I ended up running there. Taking my SATs, they give you that last long break, and at that time I took my break, I put my head down, and they didn't wake me up until it was over. Like I fell asleep, woke up, and then when I got I'm sitting there anxious, waiting for my scores. The score I needed to match my grade point average, which in high school I had like a 3.2. And I'm checking and I missed the score I needed by like 30 points. So with that being, you know what I mean? So it's like now it's like, all right, now what do I do? Right. So it was like either now I gotta go to prep because I can't take the offer no more because they're not giving the SAT out anymore. So it was like, all right, now I gotta go to prep school. Ended up going to Laurinburg Institute, in North Carolina. Not as far as the school wise, it wasn't a great school, but basketball wise, they had a real good reputation. We played a top schedule, played all the top teams, you know what I mean? Always playing in front of the top coaches.
So what players did you end up playing when you was going there?
That was the year I was there. We played Tyreek Evans and them. We played this dude named Courtney Fortson that went to like Arkansas and then played and a lot of brief stint in the NBA and the G League and different stuff. There was a lot of dudes that we was playing against that went high D1. You know what I mean? Like we was playing all the top teams you can think of up in like down in the down south area and teams from up north. So we played American Christian, we played Notre Dame Prep, like Lutheran, like we was playing teams. So
powerhouse.
Yeah, you was out there. So tell us about like that level of competition. I mean, like you take like a lot of those guys you played either played in the G League, had some stints in the NBA. I mean, definitely overseas. So like, were you prepared to play at that level? And like, what did you learn about the game of basketball while you was there?
Yeah, man. I mean, I was always prepared to play at that level, just from the standpoint, you know, I was one of the kids, and I feel like, now it becomes tough because a lot of the kids don't know who we are. But I was one of the kids based off of playing with Claude and different stuff. A lot of the guys that came home, like, I mean, I played BNBL with Mission. So Stevie Haley and Will Blaylock, once I started playing with Mission, they became two of my mentors just because me and Baz was playing behind them on like, you know what I mean? Like, or always around when they played in tournaments and different stuff. We was always on the bench, just, paying attention. So stuff like that. So it was always just kind of picking up on little things. And then, when guys like Demetrius Nichols and Terren Francis, whenever they was coming home from school, I was that little annoying dude at the Madison gym, like, yo, man, what is like doing this? Yo, man, how is it at D1? What's it like at Notre Dame? Like, I was asking all the questions.
The knowledge.
So, you know what I mean? So for me, it was always like, I was always a sponge. So I was trying to figure out what it take to get there. Like, I'm asking them everything, and every time they on TV, I'm tuning in.
Facts. That's lit. That's lit.
So,
like, oh man, like you say, all right, so you and Baz on the bench, just soaking up all this knowledge, watching all this game, man. And as you're developing, I mean, as you're at Madison, because you were at Madison the same time I was at Charlestown. So I mean, Charlestown was on their little run. They was Eastie had a little rivalry. I know y'all was good. I think English was good at the time. Like, tell us a little bit about like those battles you had like playing with Madison. Like who'd y'all battle against?
Man, I mean, O'Brien was next door. They was always, our rivalry, if you want to call it that. I mean, I ain't lose to O'Brien too much, so I can't really call it a rivalry.
Talk your shit, fam. Talk your shit, radio.
Like, I mean, they like, me, everybody. But you know what I'm saying? Even with like, I'm saying, the Charlestown, the Eastie, of course, like we went from being a team that, everybody know us for our chant and different things to being in the mix of like you're gonna put some respect on our name and talk about us in there with the Charlestowns and the Easties, you know what I'm saying, and things like that. So, I remember coming into Madison my freshman year, and we had a boat on paper. They just didn't play well together. And, we had some guys, Alvin Lewis, Travis George, and they had this little squad, but, everybody was loaded. Charlestown had, had my cousin, Jason White, Ridley.
He was a dog.
Hat, Tony Lee, of course. Like, like they was loaded. So, but by my sophomore year, I was playing varsity. Like, I got moved up at the end of my freshman year to varsity. And then my junior year was when we finally beat Charlestown. You know what I'm saying? My sophomore year, I started like half the season, but my junior year was when we was like, all right, like, I'm like, we here. You know what I'm saying? We beat C-Town. Why Jack was still the coach. He was, like, it was good, man. I know you as a C-Town guy, you know what I mean? It was definitely good seeing Zach and Zach over there frustrated. You know what I'm saying? Zach cussing out himself and all that.
Yeah, because
it was a great feeling,
they
man.
was deaf out here. I mean, buying expensive uniforms for the team. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? They was deaf like selling books. They was writing books and documentaries. So I know y'all like that's and that was the lovely thing about being at C-Town, because every time you walk into the gym for a game, no matter what team it was, everyone was coming for their head.
Right.
Yeah. One thing about C-Town, they had all the glitz and glamour before everybody knew about it. They had all the socks. They had the socks. Like, I remember being in middle school. Really went to middle school with me. I was a 6th grader when Really was in 8th grade. And you know what I'm saying? Like I said, like, you know what I'm saying? I remember dudes like, yeah, I'm going to C-Town. Like, you get the stocks, like, you know what I mean? You get all the gear,
jackets. They had winter jackets.
Yeah, you can't even miss that. So that was the thing, like, about C-Town. Like, they had all the gear at first. So you definitely, man. You know what I mean? You definitely, and like I said, the atmosphere. You go into Charlestown, it's like you really at a college game. Like, Pat, DJ, and then got the joint jumping. It was definitely an experience.
It was definitely an experience, man.
Like, it was a good time to be there, man. It was just I think like a radio man, like you come from a really good generation of hoopers from the Boston area, man. And like
right.
Having to cut your teeth against a lot of those guys, man, I'm pretty sure like that prepared you like to really get after on especially not just like a physical level, but on like a mental level, like to compete against other cats from just around the country, man. Because that's like you're a 6'1" guard. I mean, so tell us like what was your game like coming up, like in your prime, like when you was at your best, what was your game like?
Man, it's crazy because, like, I mean, not a lot of people know this, and I don't even think I really talked to him about this as much. You know what I mean? Where, like, you know, like I said, we're playing with Mission, and I mean, my game was always, you know, I was an underdog, so nobody was looking for me, but I was that dude that was watching everybody ask me, like, you as good as him? And I'm like, nah, I'm not, but I will be. You know what I mean? But I'm studying him. Oh, he don't like to do this, that. All right, so if he don't, I ain't see him do this. If he beat me doing that, then he deserved to win. But I'm not gonna let him beat me doing what he know how to do until my game developed, right? But you know, playing with Will and Stevie, you know what I'm saying? Playing with Will and Stevie, where like Shabazz had been around, you know, since he was a kid. You know what I'm saying? I just came around them in high school. So, you know what I mean? Baz was, of course, always, you know what I mean, destined to be, you know what I mean, one of the ones, because, you know what I mean, you learn from two of the best guards in the city. You know what I'm saying? Where I had to come in, and as a, you know what I mean, already in high school as like a sophomore when I started playing with them, you know, and I'm starting to, you know, I'm picking up little things on how to be a better point guard because I was never really just a point guard, but I'm picking up my point guard gems. But really, when I'm looking at Stevie and Will, like, there wasn't much I could do to mold my game like that because I'm different. So when I started looking at dudes of who on that team or who my game was going to be like, I watched Tony Lee and I was like, shoot, I'm going to be like, so I could be like him. Not saying that Tony Lee ain't talented and whatever, but a lot of what Tony do is his heart. Yeah. He got a heart that's tapped by no other. So my thought process was like, all right, well, like, he's out here doing everything and looking just as good as them, and nobody even understands any of his shortcomings. Like, until you wouldn't be able to tell me as a young kid that Tony Lee wasn't like 6'6". Because he played that big.
Just a monster.
I swear you would never know. Tony Lee is 6'1", maybe 6'2" on a good day.
Right.
With some air on or something.
With the right shoes.
You would never know. You would never know. But Tony Lee got heart like he's 6'9".
Nah. And it's crazy that you say that, Radio, because I remember, because I try to follow like the cats from Boston, like whenever they go to college and stuff like that, I try to follow and watch their college game. And I remember Stevie Mejia, he played for, I grew up with Stevie Mejia. He grew up in you know, in Lenox and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And he played for Rhode Island. But
Yeah.
I didn't know you. I didn't know you was playing for Maine, and you guys played each other. And I'm watching the game, and I'm like, hold on, is that radio? And then I was like, oh, that is radio. And your game reminded me like Tony Lee, because you was just straight to the bucket, straight. You was not backing down at all. I'm like, oh shit, this, and I'm thinking like, damn, he reminds me of Tony Lee. And it's funny that you say that, because that's the first person when I seen that game, I was like, that's when you had the braids and everything going.
Yeah,
I was like, this man, he's cooking just like Tony, because you wasn't backing down. You was going at their bigs like they were little dudes.
Nah, I mean,
and all that. Like it's crazy that you say that.
Just from watching Tony and, like I said, my cousin Jason White, like seeing them and how they approached it. Like, I mean, that was I knew that like they was both talented, but like it was their heart that got them over the top. You know what I mean? Like, what I mean? It's so crazy because I never forget my first interaction, not even real interaction with Tony. They was having an All-Star game, Tony's senior year, which was my sophomore year. I was my sophomore year, and they have an All-Star game at Madison. So the team, our side of the division, got to use our locker room, and everybody else in the locker room clowning, cracking jokes, having fun. Tony's off in the corner by himself. No headphones on, no nothing, talking to himself about like how he about to go out here and destroy everything.
About to kill. Wow.
He's in the corner talking to himself. And I'm like, yo, this is an all-star game, and this dude is this intense.
Came to win because I mean, it's
like
a
he's
reputation
that
thing.
thing on the all-star game. Everybody else joking around, whatever. And I never forget the first play of the all-star game. Somebody shot it and missed, and he went and caught it off the miss on somebody's head. Boom, dunked it. Smacked himself on the ass and said, "Yeah, Hattie's here."
Yeah, because like I think everyone knows, man. Like, because Boston's such a small city, but yet, I mean, there's a lot of everyone's like there's a lot of concentrated talent. So no matter whenever you lace them up and like there's an audience to watch, best to believe that's a part of your reputation. So you better come to play because Cats is gonna talk about it for some years.
Right. Yeah, so like that's was my first time meeting him, and like then you know what I'm saying, he went and caught another one off the miss. Boom. He said, hey, look, they don't gotta, he's talking to himself though, as he's dunking on other people. He's like, hey, Hat, they don't gotta pass it to you. You can just get it off the glass. They can't box you out.
Facts.
And I'm like, so he's telling his teammates they're not passing it enough, but also telling the other team that they're not gonna be able to stop him from getting a rebound. It was just like, yo, I'm watching him and I'm watching him, everything he's saying, he's backing it up. And I say, yo, I can be that. I can do that. Because I know that I got that much pride in what I'm doing that I can go out here and talk my shit and still and speak it into existence.
Yeah, because I think P, like I think from playing baseball, I mean, me playing football and playing all the sports and like in radio, just like you playing, I mean, boxing, hockey, all the sports. Like I think we know as athletes, man, like heart will beat talent any day.
Any day.
You know what I mean? Any day if you're ready to grind, and that's something that I think a lot of Boston athletes have, man. It's just like that dog in you. That's lit. That's lit. I wish I was at that game now. Now that you talk about it, I wish I was there. Yo, run that back.
Yeah.
But so like, I mean, like you have this motto of no days off. I mean, and like you just have.
Got some new drip on for y'all today, man.
Okay, got the drip. We out here. We definitely gonna support it.
The next one. These will be the next ones dropping. The next No Days Off merchandise, the Black Lives Matter ones.
Ooh, that's clean. Clean.
Need one of those.
And I got the joggers coming out too,
that man, come get the merch, baby. The No Days Off merch is out here.
Go support.
So like, I mean, tell us, I mean, what it was like, I mean, like your college experience coming from Boston, man, like just being on campus, being away from home. I mean, like you said, like this, like your coach at Maine showed you a different side of somebody that you can trust. I mean, outside of the normal politics of basketball. So once you got there, I mean, you're in a, like you're in an environment in a space where you can just focus on ball and really just, become the best player that you can be. So tell us about your experience on the Maine team, on that campus, and just how you thought about, I mean, your basketball future after your senior year.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely wasn't easy, going into Maine, you know, and it was definitely a change of place for me, you know what I mean? But I also wanted a different set of scenery. I mean, I had coming out of JUCO, I had like 16 different Division I offers, and I was, like for me, I was eliminating schools for dumb reasons too. Like, are they mascots a penguin? No way. I'm not going. I can't go back to Roxbury and bring back penguin T-shirts. Ain't nobody wearing that. Like, there's little stuff because I didn't know what I didn't know. You know what I mean? Right. Oh, they don't got their last name. Should I almost didn't go to Maine because at the time I had seen an old picture and I'm like, hold on, y'all sponsored by New Balance? Nah, I'm not
Your radio.
I'm not doing the New Balances, bro.
Not be who I am, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is me. I was like, they got New Balance. There's no way. Not wearing those.
So for the youngsters that are listening, man, for all the young hoopers, man. So I know they want to know, man. What were the list of schools that gave you offers, man, that you had to turn down?
The first school I turned down was my biggest offer was Georgetown. But just because at the time,
Big East, this was when they were in the Big East?
Yeah, this was just at the time they ran a flex offense. Like, from Georgetown, who go to the league from Georgetown? Wings and big men.
Right.
You can't tell me 4 point guards that was like that at Georgetown, unless you're a Georgetown diehard fan.
Yeah, just AI. That's the only one I know.
Yeah, that's it.
AI played the 2 at Georgetown.
Yeah, true.
He didn't play the point. He played the 2. He didn't get pointed in the point as a point guard category until he got to the NBA.
Yeah, they was just like, yo, just give AI the ball. Get out the way.
So it's like, but it's all wings and big men on the flex offense. Of course, they put the AI cut in, but other than that, like wings and big men. So I was and they didn't play fast enough for me. I know I'm an up-tempo guard. I like to play fast. So I knew that wasn't my style. Wichita State, Virginia was, Wichita State was probably the school I wanted to go to the most, and I probably would have. But they just was inconsistent when they was recruiting me. They would call me with all the good news, and then they would call my coach to tell him, maybe like the combo guard. They had like a senior point guard and a combo backup. So anytime the combo backup would have a couple good games, and they would be like, all right, maybe we can just get another big man because they bigs kept getting hurt because they only had 1 scholarship. So every time they was thinking about going in a different direction, they would call my coach. But then when they was like, nah, we still recruiting you. We want you. The combo done played bad because I was watching it. Combo played bad. They called me back. You know what I mean? The combo have a couple good games. They had inconsistency. So I was, you know what I mean? And like I said, I had a lot of schools to choose from. And I didn't know that there was going to be a difference from this mid-major and that mid-major. You know what I mean? I know, of course, all the big schools that's always on TV, but you know what I mean? You just think if you go somewhere and produce, you're going to be fine.
Right.
At that time, you know what I mean? You don't know what you don't know. So when I knew picking to go to Maine, they coach had they school as a team, they had a 100% graduation rate. So I knew that in my 2 years there leaving JUCO that I was going to get my degree. So, you know what I mean? For me, it was like, it mean more to me to be able to have a piece of paper. And if I want to play pro, you know what I mean? I'm playing against pros in the summertime and that be asking me where I play at. So I know that they know I'm good enough to be a pro.
All right.
Facts, man. That's lit. Hey, Talk Your Shit Sports Podcast, man. You can only find this exclusive content here on this podcast, man. We got one of Boston's best hoopers ever. You already know what it is. No days off. Get your merch from my man Radio. You already know what it is. We're gonna post that as soon as we're done here. But yeah, man, like tell us, now where you're at, in your basketball career, in the new opportunity that you got now, and just how you're balancing that with being an entrepreneur.
Man, it's been a grind, man. This past year I got an offer to go play in China, through at the beginning of through COVID after we shut down, because I was here in Jamestown last year. We shut down because of COVID. Then things started to around September. I got an offer in August to go to China. Excuse me, to play, and I was like, I didn't feel comfortable, going overseas in that time and being that far away from my family. You know what I mean? Like my mom's and my stepdad is, which they both what you call handicap able, so they good. They can do everything. They good. They can do stuff on their own, but I just didn't feel comfortable leaving the States and not knowing if it would be like I can't come back or something like that. So
Priorities.
I was like, nah, I'm gonna chill. But I ended up, my the head assistant coach that coached me at Maine, he started a post grad in Florida, so he asked me to come there and coach. So he was like, look, come there and coach, this and this and that. So, and he's like, to give you a chance to start working on, stuff after basketball. And, shoot, I got my certified personal trainers, license and stuff now. So I'm certified in that, certified in strength and conditioning, certified in nutrition. But so I just seen it as an opportunity to, just get some more stuff and not just be at a standstill, waiting to go play. You know what I mean? And then from there, the team that I played for last year offered me to come back, which that's what I'm doing now. They offered me to come back to Jamestown and be a player coach. So with that being said, it's just definitely a blessing to still be able to play. In the way it lined up perfectly. I finished coaching prep school, and then had to come right back here and, get right into the swing of things and, doing tryouts and training camps. So it's definitely been a dope experience. And then as far as the No Days Off brand, this is something that's been in the works for a minute in terms of just me in my head and just thinking of it and, coming up with it. I wanted to, kind of be in my own lane. I know I got a lot of people that do a lot of clothing and different stuff. So I didn't want to be, the same as everybody else, especially knowing that I support them. And I didn't want to step on nobody's toes because I'm not I'm not a designer. I'm not, just so I need to be in this for fashion or whatever. My stuff is more inspirational, is to, make sure that, you feel, like your voice is being heard. And just so I wanted to bring a lot of the sayings that helped me get to where I am today to life, the stuff that I went by every day, the No Days Off, last round, best round, just a kid from Roxbury, I got never outwork stuff coming, it's just, this whole No Days Off brand, it was all about me bringing together a lot of my hashtags that help me every day when I'm like, dang, I don't feel like doing nothing today.
It's a lifestyle. Oh, yeah. It's a lifestyle. Facts, it's a lifestyle.
No days off. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's a lifestyle. So, and that's why, I do everything is all my like hoodies and stuff. Everything I do as far as like shirts wise and things like that, it'll probably have a hood on it. So it's always workout material, workout type gear, but it's always it's all the hooded stuff. I'm gonna have some hooded tank tops that I'm working on, for the summer and, just different stuff like that. But all my,
he gonna hit him over the head. He gonna hit him over the head.
I feel like I was one of the first few hooping in joggers. Like I was playing in tournaments, money tournaments with joggers. You know what I'm saying?
Now everybody's doing it.
So now, you know what I mean? And that's just what I, you know what I mean? But, when you see somebody hooping in the joggers, you know what I mean? I feel like I was one of the first few. Everybody was cutting these sweats and the shorts, but I was definitely hooping with the full joggers because I had to keep my knees warm. So I would just, pull up the joggers, halfway, you know what I'm saying? And that's how I was giving it up for a few summers. So, you know what I mean? So I always had the joggers and different stuff like that. But, that's kind of where I'm at with things.
Nah, that's pretty dope, man. Raheem,
I wanted to create that fit. You went to the gym and feel like you're ready to go.
Right. That's definitely a dope journey, man. From academy to overseas to playing D1. That's just not easy. You know what I'm saying? That's just not easy, man. And listen, we commend you, bro, because that journey, going through those adversity, and that's something that I love, about our podcast, because we want hoopers that hoop before and hoopers that are hooping now to understand that the journey to to the finish line, it's not a straight shot. You have to go through those ups and downs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And yeah, man, that shit's just. I mean, listen, man, we salute you, man.
Salute you, big homie. Yeah, I mean, I think now that you're a player coach and like you've starting to, transition, into teaching the game of basketball to the next generation. I think we all want to know is how do you see the game of basketball right now, whether it's the NBA, college, or AAU, or even just BPS league? How do you see it? What is the state of basketball now? And in your prime, could you still be an impact player right now today?
Man, listen, I'm gonna cut into that question real early. I mean, I'm a very adaptable person. So I don't think there's no, and I mean, I'm still playing right now in essence with a lot of this era. So, you know what I mean? I know I can play with the best of them no matter what. I'm a competitor. So I was always a student of the game. So I've always paid attention to people and find out what they don't like to find ways to be competitive. So I would be fine. But as far as the game goes, I think the main thing, and I tell people this all the time, why I'm able, like, about to play. I'm in my 9th year playing pro. I'm 2 games in my 9th year of pro basketball, right? So with that being said, like, these kids are getting bigger, stronger, faster, more athletic, and also have, crazy skill sets, but they're not getting any smarter. I feel like there's a lot of people that like really teach the game and everything right now. A lot of kids are just learning from these trainers who's teaching them how to be great individual players, great one-on-one players. And, you got to always have some stuff in your bag, but you also got to know how to enhance the guys around you and utilize them to your strengths. And I don't think a lot of them understand how to manage a team, how to, manage personalities and be able to mesh. And that's why I think that's why you see all the veterans all on the team together now, because they like, man, I can't play with these young dudes. They just think it's all about getting buckets. But that's kind of the era of what it is, because think about it. You ain't you ain't watching no guys if they hoop mixtape ain't like that. And, around, I didn't have a hoop mixtape. I ain't started getting hoop mixtapes until now. So like, when you think about it, like, just imagine we be looking at guys that kind of went places. Can you imagine if Will had a hoop mixtape? Stevie had, like, can we imagine if Wayne Turner had a hoop mixtape? Like, he ain't just going, like, just think about it. They was killing, and we just got word of mouth and how so many people say they seen it and heard about it. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Like I watch film on one of my mentors and, longtime mentors, Rick Lambright, and people don't realize how good he was. You know what I mean? From OP and, worked at Madison for forever, work at the Shelburne now and different things. But like, it's so many stories that you hear people, but now it's like all these kids think they good because they got a couple of highlights and people follow them and like them. But then when a lot of these kids hit their lows, they don't got enough real friends that's really trying to help them.
Right.
Yeah, they break.
So, I mean, do you blame the AAU circuit for that? Because I feel like the AAU circuit kind of highlights that one-on-one.
I think it highlights it, but it's not just the AAU. I mean, it's everything. It's the trainers. It's even the coaches telling kids because they're afraid to lose their players to don't play and stuff, right? Like, think about it. If you on an AAU team and you used to being the man on your AAU team, you always getting a rock. So nobody, you playing, like, I mean, when I played AAU, you had to be the best in your class to be on a team, or you had to have the money to pay.
Right.
Now everybody can play AAU, but like, you had to be nice if you was going to real tournaments. Boo Williams, Jim Rat, Rumble in the Bronx. Like, you was going to the big tournaments if you was playing AAU. There wasn't a zero gravity tournament that you can play in every weekend. Like, I'm seeing kids, 3 9th graders that all train at my gym, and they all won a championship and played in the same tournament on different teams. And I'm like, how'd y'all all win a champion? Oh, well, he played in the silver division. He played in the bronze division. I'm like, hold on. So they made a division so that you still go home with a championship, so you can be the best of the worst and you get in the trophy. So you can play in the league with. I'm gonna play in this league with all the terrible teams, and I'm gonna be the best of the bad teams. Right. I don't want to play. I can go and control. I don't want to play BABC. Well, if my kid's in the 9th grade, why do I not want them to play against BABC, Expressions, whoever the top teams, New England Rival, whoever the top teams may be? Why do I not want him to play against those kids if I want him to be good?
Right.
You know what I mean? You couldn't duck no smoke, I feel like, in our era where now a lot of dudes is friends. If you rank one space ahead of me, I want to be in your spot. So when we play against each other, ain't no we friends. You number 2 and I'm number 3. I want to be number 2. Oof. And I think it's just that's the difference now. You know what I mean? Dudes, oh yeah, I'm number 8. He's number 6. So we good. Nah, I'm not good. I want to be number 1. Like, and if I get an opportunity to fight to the top, I'm gonna fight. I ain't gonna be friends with you because we both top 10.
Facts.
Not running from no smoke.
Yeah. No, that's dope, man. Man, radio, man. This is lit, man. You know, this is. I mean, the fact that you came on here to tell your story, dog. Like, I mean, it's these gems. It's this history, this rich history of Boston athletics, man. Boston hoops, just hoop in general, man. That's important to continue to motivate. And just teach the younger generation, man, because I think a lot of folks need to hear that. Like, yo, like, It's not just about, I mean, you and your man's being good. I mean, y'all best friends, y'all be able to win championships together. But it's like, yo, how are you able to bring out the best in yourself, challenge yourself, and really use your circumstance or like wherever you're coming from to, as an avenue to get out, or as an avenue to like elevate your status in terms of like the opportunities that you're able to get. So I mean, I'm saying we salute you, man. We won't pivot, man, because we won't keep you too much longer because I know you're busy, man. But I mean, we want to jump into some more current events, man.
Okay.
How you feel about Kyrie, man? Kyrie, I mean, the Brooklyn Nets. What's going on with that cat? Is he a team obliterator? Is he just is he in his own world? Like, how do you feel about what he's bringing to basketball, man? Like, he's getting a lot of smoke, but like, he's a unique individual. So, like, how do you feel as a hooper? I mean,
the only other I can say Kyrie is Kyrie. You know what I mean? Like, I played last summer for Dykeman with Team Concepts, and you know they did a couple collabs with him on his sneakers and different things. So I kind of got to meet him and chop it up with him a little bit. But I mean, I think the main thing is Kyrie's so misunderstood, and you know there's people so quick to pass judgment on this, that, and the third. And like, you know what I mean? Everybody, especially, I'm not a Boston Celtics fan, but you know,
facts. Me too.
Everybody was so quick to, you know, be like, oh, Kyrie's this and he's that. But like, he wasn't being treated like the franchise player there. You know what I mean? And and the one thing about, you know, Brad Stevens, he's great at doing more with less. But you know, with Kyrie and whatever, if you ain't gonna embrace him as your superstar, if at the end of the game you questioning who's getting the rock and he not saying give it to this person, and it's not question like, nah, Kyrie's our guy until proven otherwise, you know, it was tough to keep him there. So, you know,
I mean, you had Tatum though. Tatum was a young dog.
Was just emerging as somebody. Kyrie already won a championship. It's not saying, and he wasn't trying to stunt Tatum's growth. You know what I'm saying? But
he was embracing Tatum.
There was too many other guys at that time. You know, you had Terry Rozier, you had everybody was thinking
Terry wanted the rock. You know Terry wanted the rock.
But everybody was thinking Gordon Hayward because everybody was sleeping on the Celtics because Gordon Hayward got hurt, because, you know, Kyrie was hurt. So, you know, and Brad Stevens is great. Like I said, at Butler, what he did, and just, you know, he's just that type of coach. So, yeah, he's great at being an underdog. But now when, you know, people are gunning for you, they struggling this year.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, when people have high expectations for you, it's easy to be the underdog because they ain't looking at that scouting report like, yeah, we really need to figure this out. They like, we gonna be straight until it's too late.
Right. Yeah. Man. I mean, I think you said it right. I mean,
he's a different monster, man. Like, if he's healthy and like, you know what I mean, in the right mind space, and he's just worried about basketball, ain't too many people that you can say is better than him.
Ah, man. So okay. Now, okay. I'm glad you said that because now I want to dig in a little bit of that. So Steph, Kyrie, and Dame. What's up? Cut. I mean, start, bench, cut. What's up? Start, bench, cut.
Cut.
Start, bench, cut. You know what I mean? Because you just said, you know what I mean? You heard, you just said.
So are we talking about focus, locked in Kyrie, right? That's what.
This is all three of them. It doesn't matter. Start, bench, cut. Steph, Curry, Kyrie, and Dame.
Man, listen, Steph Curry is a tough. This is why Steph Curry, I'm cutting him. And I know everybody will be like, whoa. Listen, this is why I'm cutting Steph Curry. This is just me personally and how I feel. Is I need somebody, like, I don't think Steph Curry's gritty enough. Like, when I watched him in those finals and he's hedging on a guard to guard, like, come on, bro. Like, if I'm on his team, like, why I got to hedge on a guard-to-guard screen? You out here hedging like a big man because you scared to stick Kyrie for a possession?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking, when I'm thinking of it, I'm not thinking about it as far as, like, NBA and the whole – I'm talking about if I'm talking about dudes I want to be on my team or that I would, like, you know what I mean? If I see them, I'm like, all right, just out of respect and, like, how I would want it. I would probably – I'm starting Kyrie just because in my mind I know he got that dog in him.
Right.
And when he's clicking on all cylinders, how can you stop him? He can do whatever you want, however you want it. He can get tricky with it. He can keep it simple. There's not much in this game that you can say he can't do. Where Dame is just starting to get better this year with not just being able to make plays without a pick and roll. If it's not a pick and roll, I watched the Warriors guard him, and every time they were switching on the pick and roll and blitzing it, he was struggling trying to score without a pick and roll. He's still calling for a screen. You got Looney on you.
Right.
Go buy him and get a bucket. Like, he don't got the CJ McCullough package. No, you know what I mean? No funny business, but he don't got the CJ McCullough handle, get his own shot. It's just, if you backpedal too much, he's shooting it. Or if you let him come off the pick and roll, he'll get downhill and dunk on you. But Kyrie is like, clear it out, 1-4 low.
I'm embarrassed.
You can't switch that.
I mean, the league is different though, bro. Like the shooting is at a premium.
No, I'm not saying, like I said, no knocks to Steph Curry, but I just can't. For me, as a competitor, I don't like that he don't guard. He won't even attempt to guard his position. He's hedging. You know what I'm saying? He out there hedging like a big man and making Klay Thompson work harder.
Right, but D, don't sleep. I mean, Dame
and
Kyrie.
Dame can shoot it.
They all can shoot it.
And Kyrie's not looking to shoot a lot of threes. Kyrie likes to make sure he show you what he can do.
No, I
you know what I'm not saying no knock to Steph Curry because he's one of the best shooters. I wouldn't put, like we talking about, because when you put that argument together, we talking about point guards. And for me, I would put Steph Curry on the 2.
Got you.
I'm with Radio. I'm cutting Steph because I need some dogs. I need some
defense. I need to know that if we need to stop, like, he ain't gonna be out there like, I'm a hedge, but you gotta get through.
Yeah, I'm gonna need some dogs. I mean, Kyrie's gonna embarrass you in front of your girlfriend, your mom, the whole 9.
But Steph's going to do the same thing. No. Steph is liable to drop at least 2 or 3 cats a game if he wants to.
Yeah, Steph gonna hit some misses.
Like I'm not taking all the slander on Steph. Yeah.
I'm not knocking Steph, man. Don't get it twisted.
I got you.
Steph, I fuck with Steph. I'm not saying it like that, but I'm saying out of those 3, that's just my preference.
Right.
So right now, I mean, in terms of now that you're coaching and now that you're watching, like you're still playing, but like now I think you have a different perspective and a new appreciation for coaching. So when you're looking at the NBA and you see all these older guys going, chasing rings, what teams do you feel like right now have the best coaching and gives them an advantage to win the championship?
I mean, to be honest, even with coaching, you know what I mean? I've always, kind of thought of myself as a player coach, just in general, just because of my, the basketball knowledge I have. And like I said, I always had to, pay attention to the little stuff to be able to know how to, best go against my opponents until I got better. You know what I mean? So I've always looked at it like that. As far as coaching right now, I mean, I don't even, to be honest, in the NBA especially, I don't even see a lot of coaches like that. Like, it's hard to coach when you got a lot of these superstars. Like,
True.
you gonna really say Frank Vogel's coaching the Lakers or is LeBron? You know what I'm saying? Like, what, you know what I mean? Like, who's really coaching?
I mean, that's why you got to respect like the Pops. Greg Pop, I think right now
You can't not take your hat off to Pop, but you know what I mean. Pop also always, he recruits like that. He gets the humble superstars.
right.
You know what I'm saying? That's who he get. Like Tim Duncan is a superstar, but he live a simple life. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta understand. He go get these dudes from overseas who is just happy to be in the NBA and lets them be superstars and understand. You know what I mean? That they humble about it. So I think that's part of who Pop is. You know what I'm saying? There isn't really a lot of Phil Jacksons that's sitting there and blending a whole bunch of superstars together. You know what I mean? I like Eric Spoelstra. I can't take away from what he's doing over there in Miami and stuff, but look at the big homies above him. Pat Riley is the one still running that show. You know what I'm saying? These dudes, to play for Miami is not easy, bro. Like you gotta pass all type of fitness tests and you gotta do different check-ins throughout the year. Like to be on like you could get cut at any time if you don't meet their athletic standards.
Facts. No, that's real.
So people don't realize like Miami, one of the few teams that like even you see all the old dudes, everybody there in shape.
In shape, right.
Facts. So right now, I'm saying this next one, man. He's one of my favorite, point guards ever, man. Rondo, the trade from Atlanta to, the Clippers, and they got Lou out of there. So he's running the show with, at least Paul George right there, and you got Kawhi, and they also got the young boy coming off the bench. So how do you feel like that combination of Rondo, like Rondo's leadership, his championship pedigree, is going to how is that going to help them in the playoffs?
Yeah, no, that's going to help them a lot, man, because, Kawhi's not going to lead and be vocal. That's just not who he is. So you need a guy that's been there that's going to be able to, hold guys accountable. You know what I'm saying? You need a dude like Rondo. He's going to do his job regardless. So he's able to hold those guys. Paul George and Kawhi can't hold each other accountable because they both sometimes be going missing in action.
Right.
Now when you got a dude like Rondo, he the yin to the yang. So he's going to be able to, y'all two dudes are stinking it up. They ain't have nobody, you know what I'm saying, that had enough juice to be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? The only people that I felt like tough enough on their roster can't really say that. With the Morris twin, he can't.
Right.
What he gonna say to them? You know what I'm saying? And then last year when they had Montrezl Harrell and then Patrick Beverly, like you can say whatever you want, but you doing what you do, you're a crumb snatcher. That's what you can be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So how can you really, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna do their job, but it's a difference when it's coming from Rondo. He's won championships with, different organizations. To two of the most historic, and he's played with Hall of Famers already. So
Right.
how can you know what I mean? You can't deny what he's telling you, especially because he know the formula.
Right.
So
we want to keep it on the point guard level. What do you think about Chris Paul and the Suns' emergence?
Man, I wasn't surprised by that. I think that was a great pickup for the Suns. You know what I'm saying? They was expecting Devin Booker to do too much. Devin Booker can just hoop, and Chris Paul can be the leader, be the guy to, hold the young guys accountable and get them right. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing is, people don't, that's why I was saying earlier about like the vets. People don't understand how important it is to have vets because you're forcing some of these young kids to grow up before their time and they're not able to just focus on continuing and being professional in terms of just going out. Devin Booker got to worry about holding these other dudes accountable and getting his buckets, that's not easy to do when you're not there already.
Right.
Facts. That's real. Yeah.
So,
MVP. They talking MVP, man. I mean, if they can. I mean, if he
Because he got the Suns in the number 2, right? They're the second best team in
the West,
in
they hooping. They hooping, and I'm saying
yeah.
Aiton's coming along, man. I like the way he's developing, but I need a little bit more from him. If they get a little bit more from him, just on the block and be able to like dominate once Embiid comes back and they got to play Drummond and all them. Like he has to be able to really like get down there and get some buckets. It's like, yo, I'm gonna toss it in. I'm gonna toss it in you. I need you to turn your back, and bang it.
Yeah. Nah, I think he's definitely gotten a lot better, but also I don't think we give his development enough credit. I think the Suns was one of them teams that you ain't get to see a lot of.
Right.
They were terrible. So like, how much did you really see that Ayton? You know what I'm saying? You might look on the numbers, but I mean, it's easy when you know you could double Booker, and then you might can send a double to him too.
Right. Facts.
Who else gonna beat you on that team?
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? Now with Chris Paul, now it gives them, you know what I mean? And they picked up Jay Crowder. They got some other good veterans.
Because Jay can still put it up. He can still shoot it. He got the 3 ball.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that was clutch. I like the Crowder signing, man. I think he's a good fit.
Crowder gives you a
he still plays some defense too, yep.
And it gives you somebody that can defend multiple positions. You can play him in today's NBA. You can play him in 3 through 5.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? And he can guard all those positions. So you should be fine with, you know what I mean? He gives you that versatility. So
factuals. All right, man. The last thing before we get out of here, man. I mean, I need to get this from you, man. Who's your GOAT? You got Brady, MJ, LeBron, Serena, Hank Aaron, Tiger Woods, Ali, Walter Payton. I mean, there's a whole list, man. Who's your Deion Sanders, Barry Bonds? I mean, who's your GOAT?
I mean,
who's the greatest of all time?
It's hard for me to go against.
You gotta pick one.
It's not saying it's hard for me to go against Tom. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a Patriots fan. You know what I'm saying? Tom is who Tom is, man. I can't take that away from him. But the only other, I mean, of course, I love MJ, of course, but the only other argument I would make of Tom would be Bill Russell.
I think that's a first. So we got Bill Russell here. I mean, Bill got them rings to prove it.
I think everybody overlooks Bill. They try not to give him credit for the time he plays, and then we talk all about Wilt and other bigs, Kareem's and all that, but we always overlook Bill Russell's consistency. And you can say, oh, his team was loaded. You still got to win. You still, you know what I mean? He player coach, and we know how Boston used to be back in the day. So for him to get that love and whatever, that respect, he was a player coach with the Boston Celtics. Like, that go to show you a lot, man. So I think that's the only person I would put compared to Tom.
Yo, Raheem, man.
Bill got a statue? Does he have a statue yet?
Yeah, it's down in City Hall. City Hall.
Okay.
But yeah, man, Raheem, man, thank you for pulling up, sharing your journey with us, man. I mean, this is how we end the show, man. P, what's your what the fuck moment?
My what the fuck moment of the week definitely has to be that dunk from last night, man.
Oh,
Miles Bridges.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he put it on his head. Came through the lane.
Gosh, it was a scary sight. Like I was like, oh man, Capella. Like, we gotta put an APB on Capella, see if he's still alive, bro. He caught a body.
Yeah.
He caught a body, man.
Wow.
Man. Yeah, he's
I might have to play that again. I watched like a couple of times. Like that was scary. That was scary.
That was definitely dysfunctional.
Capella
said something about his mother or something.
I think so, because he caught that back. He caught it back and put it on his head.
Lost the Blu-ray game or something. They must. Something ain't right, man. He might owe him some money or something.
That dunk was personal. He put it on his blonde spot, on his head.
Y'all are wicked. Oh man. Yo, all right. Last thing, man. You know how we always end this off, man. So Raheem, man, we want to give the people an inspiration on just a takeaway, man. What's one thing you want to leave with the people?
Man, the main thing is, of course, no days off. But you know, as you know, my high school coach used to say, you know, speaking about Madison and stuff, it was always, you know, stay humble, stay hungry, stay focused. So, you know, that right there is my inspirational quote for the
Gotcha.
people. Stay
Yeah.
hungry, stay humble, stay focused.
I like that. Hey, what you got?
If people are doubting you, how far you can go as far as you can go, so you can't hear them anymore. So just keep going, man. You're gonna get doubted, and just block out the doubts and just go, man. Just go, man.
Yeah, man. That's dope, P. That's dope, Riz. I like it's amazing. Like this thing I read, I sent this to you, P, at early in the week. Is this poem, this quote by President Theodore Roosevelt. It's called "The Man in the Arena." And basically, what it was, I found it on ET's podcast. Basically, what they were saying was, they were talking about an example where this kid, a few years ago in the NCAA tournament, I mean, he had missed some free throws, and like his team had ended up losing the game, and like the kid had balled out all year, like he was an all-star all year, but the fan base was hating on him, and like you had grown men, grown women sending him death threats, talking about why you missed the free throw, and all this, like you can't come back here N-word and all this, and it's like, it's better to be, I mean, and you got all these critics. I mean, I think we can all relate to it. It's better to be a doer rather than a critic. I mean, if you're if you're the man in the arena, if you're in there putting in the work, if you're the one in the spotlight, I mean, there's other opportunities that open up for you. There's other growth that opens up for you, other than like you being a critic. Because like if you're a critic, you just sit on the sidelines, like you.
Right.
Like you can't get nothing done. So I mean, shout out to all the people who always like who are getting involved. You're putting yourself out there, like you're putting yourselves in position to really win, and that's what's important, man. It's not about the people who ain't out here doing nothing because all they want to do is talk. So I mean, shout out to all the real athletes, all the real hoopers, the football players, whatever sport you play, keep going hard. You know, I mean, you already know what it is. But thank y'all for locking into another episode of the Talk Your Shit Sports Podcast. This was a special one. We had a Boston hoop legend. You already know what it is, radio. You know what I mean? Raheem Singleton. You know what I mean? You all can catch him at any nearest gym. He'll go ahead and put 30 on your head. You already know what it is. You know what I mean? Go copy your No Days Off merch. I'm saying we'll definitely post that on the IG. And it's all love, y'all. It's all love. Thank y'all for tuning in. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate y'all, man.
All right, Reem. We out.
All right.